Hello everyone, myself is Jashwant. As part of this YouTube channel, right? So the folks who are completed their graduation and they wanted to start looking for a job in IT industries, and some people may have aim like they wanted to grow as a data engineer, right? There could be people who are working on the non-data platforms, and if they wanted to shift as a data engineer, right? So I would think like definitely this YouTube channel will definitely help them. Okay, so as part of this session, right, what I'm going to cover today is how you wanted to become as a data engineer. So what are the prerequisites needed for that, and what are the responsibilities of the data engineer? Okay, so how do you start your career as a data engineer, which means like what technology you need to learn first. Okay, so we are going to cover all of those things as part of today's session. Okay, so first thing like before you grow as a data engineer, okay, it is very important for you to understand more about the data. Okay, so data engineer will always deal with the data, okay, that is coming from the different sources. Okay, so example, like if I take an example as a Flipkart, or for that matter, like if you take Amazon, right? So there could be some data will be produced each and every day. So there will be inflow data and there will be outflow data. For example, like if you want to purchase something from Amazon, right? So basically what you do, you just log into this website or to the application. Okay, you enter the login details, username and password, and also you go to shopping category and you will search for product what you wanted to see buy. Okay, so when you search for product, so basically what happens is like, so there could be some information provided by the Amazon itself. So that's by the Amazon. Okay. And at the same time, like once you like the product, you are interested to purchase the product, right? So you will continue to buy the product. And during that point of time, you enter the details related to the customer, like where that product wanted needs to be delivered, and the mobile number of the customer, email ID, so on, so right. So and also like uh, next to that, immediately like it will ask you to enter the transaction details, how you wanted to purchase it, whether it is through UPI or like it is through credit card, debit card, or cash on delivery. So there could be various options will be provided by Amazon itself, okay, for you to make the payment. And after that, so one order ID will be created for the product what you are actually purchasing, right? So in all this process, right, there is a huge activity has been done. So when I say activity in the sense like each and every place you are doing some click on the website, right? So that is, see, from that perspective, like there will be a log stored in the backend system. Okay, every activity you perform on top of the website, okay, for each activity there will be a log captured in the storage system in the backend. Okay, that is called data. Okay, and also you're providing some information also, which is like a customer information like mobile number, email address, and the delivery address, shipping address, billing address, and everything you are providing. That is also called as a data. Okay, and the company itself is providing some outflow information, which is like a product configuration details, product information, shopping category details. All these things are provided by the Amazon itself, right? So this is also considered as a data. Okay, so in whole this process, it is just to buy a product you are producing and you are looking for, you are actually capturing, like you are actually creating huge data in the backend, okay, where the customer won't be able to see directly. Okay, so this is one of the source for the data. Okay, and for that matter, like if you look at any uh, social networking websites like Twitter, Facebook, or Insta, right? So even there, like every day you upload the data, you upload the statuses, you upload the images, you upload the videos, you upload the recordings. So most of the things you will do there, right? So even that would be considered as a data, and even that to be stored in the backend system, which is called as a storage system. Okay, so to deal with all these things, right? So there should be a person who actually take care of all these activities. Okay, so like in terms of data processing, okay, in terms of data storage, right? So there should be a resource needed uh, to perform all such kind of activity. Okay, not only the data storage and data processing, there could be other activities also can be performed by the data engineer. Okay, so those are like these are the key major responsibility of the data engineer. So how do you want to grow like as a data engineer, right? So what are the prerequisites required? So prerequisite is kind of understanding the data. Okay, as you know, at least at a high level, you might need to understand the data. What type of data are we getting? Okay, so and where see when it comes to data, in the sense like it is described in different ways, right? So like numeric, there will be text information like special characters, alpha characters, Chinese characters, Japanese characters, uh, and there could be different information you're providing, and also there could be date information, there could be numeric information that you are passing. So there could be image. Image is also uh, considered as a data. Okay. So and the recording is also considered as a data. Okay. So all these things will be stored in a system that is called data storage system. Okay. So there could be a software wherein all this data will be stored. Okay. So that software is called as a database software. Okay. You might have heard about database management system from your graduation, right? So most of the IT folks, CSC folks, they might have heard about this subject like database management system. Okay, so that is all about that. That subject is all discuss about the database. Okay, so database is a software which will be used to store the data that is coming from the various sources. Okay, so that's a software which will be installed on top of one of the hardware system. Okay, on top of there will be a hardware system. On top of that, there will be an operating system. On top of that, the database software will be installed. Okay, so in today's market, like we have various database softwares. Okay, one is Oracle. Oracle is one of the database software that we have today, and Teradata is one of the database software that we have today. So these are like on-premises databases, right? On-premises in the sense like there could be a hardware uh, managed by the own organization, right? But there could be cloud databases as well, which is like a Snowflake, okay, which is a cloud database, okay, where the platform will be owned by uh, the platform organization. Okay, so there are various database softwares today exist in the market, okay, which are used for the data storage perspective. Okay, so now we as of now like we talked about like why we store the data and from where sorry from where we are getting the data and how we store the data. So we get the data from various sources, just like as discussed, right? So Amazon is one example, Flipkart is one example, uh, Twitter, Facebook, Insta, or any bank loan applications or any sales applications. So all these are various sources to gather the data, right? Okay, and so for all of them, there will be a backend software, which is a database. Okay, that's what we discussed as of now. But why are we storing all this information in a data storage system? Or for that matter, like why are we storing all this data in a database? When you when Amazon is selling something, you are getting money. Okay, you are getting money, right? So why do you want to store the data? Why do you want to waste the hardware space? Why do you want to purchase the hardware to store the data about the sales and everything? Okay, so there are several reasons. One is uh, for auditing purpose. Okay, so tomorrow, so assume like you have done, there were many sales happened in last year. Okay, tomorrow for some reason you wanted to track it. Okay, so that point of time, like if you have that data stored, whatever the sales that were happened in the previous year, if you want to track it, okay, you can just go you can just look at the database or any reports. Okay, you can just see what was happened in the previous year, right? So that's one kind of usage, like why we store the data, and also that is for auditing purpose, and also there is other reason why we store the data. Okay, so example, like today Amazon sold one product. Okay, so for assume like for $10. Okay, so see, it's not like if they're selling that product for $10 and actual manufacturing cost for that product is $9, so they'll get $1 profit. So it's not like they would be happy with that $1 profit day by day, right? So they will have to grow their business. They need to improve their profits. Okay, so today if they got $10, they won't be happy with that $10 itself. They will have some actions to increase that profit day by day. Okay, so to do all these things, to make all these decisions, okay, it is very much important to store the data in a database. Okay, so that the uh, the business from that organization, they would look at the data. Okay, and they could see like what what was happening from the last few years. Okay, so for example, like if you take KFC as an example, right? So across world there would be various stores in every country, right? So sometimes what happens is in one store there could be more profits. In another store there are no profits. Okay, but so basically there was huge loss from the different stores. Okay, so when we do overall, when we do calculate the overall profits, right? So just because of the other stores, the entire organization profit is on loss. Okay, so they basically drill down the data at a store level and see what is happening in each store. Okay, and based on that, they would take some key decision on the stores where there was a loss. Okay, so to make that decision, they need a data to understand like what is happening in that or in that store, right? So either they would remove the store completely, okay, or they would plan something else to grow that store, right? So there could be some actions will be done based on the data that you store in the database system. Okay, so these are the various reasons why you store the data in a database. Okay, and the other uh, the other advantage is also like so sometimes like you might need to show up like some reports to the government, like so they would come for some tax audits, right? So like we discussed about like auditing, right? So same thing maybe from government itself, like they wanted to do some kind of audits, okay, from the business perspective. Okay, so even that point of time, like you can actually track the data what you stored, right? So at the same point of time, so it's very so that's where like it's very important for you to understand more about the data, and so why you need to store the data in a data storage system. Okay, which is called as a database. Okay, so data processing, data visualization, data analytics, business decisions, these things will cover later. Okay, but uh, like let's understand like more about why we store the data, right? So for example, like so this is something that we already discussed. So we are just taking one data scenario, real-time data scenario as an example. Okay, like we said, right? You log into Amazon and you look for shopping category, you add that to cart and finalize the item, proceed to checkout, enter the customer details, and you enter the transaction details, and finally order will be booked and the email will be sent to you. Okay, sometimes what happens is, see, even though you don't purchase, even though you don't until this point, you don't go until this point, right? So sometimes you just add the product to the cart. Okay, sometimes you'll just look at the category and you don't add that to cart or you don't even purchase that, right? So that point of time, what happens is, so as I said, like the activity log, what you have done on top of the Amazon website, that could be stored in the database. by using that data, so business will start looking at that data. So they actually capture the interest of the customer. So based on the activity you have done, you might have clicked on that product multiple times, which means they would consider that as a interest, customer interest on that product. So that point of time, what they do is they provide some offers on top of that product. You might have observed it. Okay, once you add something to the cart, after 1 or 2 weeks later, right? So you might be receiving some emails saying that you have added this product to the cart. Okay, in case if you want to purchase it, I will give you discount on other product. Like, so there could be some uh, emails you would be getting, right? So once when you do that, you can observe that. Okay, so and also sometimes whenever you are trying to buy other product, right? So whatever you added in the cart, so that also will show up in the down. Okay, for any product when you are trying to buy it. Okay, so these are some kind of decisions that business would make based on your based on the customer interest. Okay, so this is one reason. Like, see, when the business is when organization is giving you the discount, right? You may show an interest to purchase that product. Okay, so that they will get some revenue out of that. So finally, they are doing some reporting. They are doing some analysis on top of the data, on top of the activity log, what is captured when you click on Amazon website, right? On top of that, they would do some analysis, and based on that, they would make some decision to provide some offer to you to make uh, that product to be purchased by you, right? So that the company will get revenue generated from you, right? From that customer. Okay, so this is one kind of key decision to grow their business. Okay, so so as of now, we discussed about like how we store the data and why we store the data, right? So how do you want to start your career? Okay, so if you want to, there are many technologies where you can deal with the data. Okay, so like for data storage, you have different softwares, but for data processing, you have different softwares. Okay, for data visualization, you have different softwares. Okay, data storage, you have database softwares like Oracle Teradata. And for data processing, you have different ETL tools. Okay, which is like Informatica, StreamSets, DataStage, Ab Initio. There are various ETL tools as well. And also for data visualization also, there are different reporting tools like Power BI and Tableau, right? So uh, you need to get started with these technologies, any one of this technology if you want to grow as a data engineer. Okay, but the minimum, so I would suggest like if anybody want to start their career as a data engineer, so let's start your learning with SQL. Okay, so SQL is a language wherein you can talk to any database. Okay, so like how you have C, C++, Java as a programming languages, right? For you to build any application, right? So even for you to talk to database software, so you need to learn SQL, okay, which is structured query language, okay, where this language will be used to talk to database, like in terms of to view the data, to manipulate the data, manipulate in the sense like to delete, to add, to update the data in the database, and also to control the data, and also to control the transactions that are going to happen on top of the data in the database software, right? So database. So to do all of these things, you are required to learn. You are required to start your career with SQL, which is a very primary skill that is needed for you to grow as a data engineer. Okay, in the further classes, right? So we will start uh, knowing more about the database and how we can use the SQL to talk to database. Okay, so this is all I wanted to cover as part of this session. So if you want me to cover more about anything, right? So you can just provide your comments on the comment section. Okay. So if you like this video, please subscribe it and like it. Thank you, guys.